YouTube, Northeast Ohio Sports Cards here, back for a week in review. Uh, we got a lot of stuff to get into today. So, uh, like, comment, sub, all the YouTube shenanigans down below. Make sure you subscribe. We are rapidly approaching 400 subs, so we'd like to blow through that number. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, but I don't want to waste a lot of time because I got a lot of things I want to hit you guys with this morning. First up, this week was an eventful one. Early on in the week, BGS, who we've talked about before on the channel, has raised their prices on ultra-fast turnaround time stuff. 2-day and 5-day. 2-day is $125. 5-day is $100. Holy hell. The internet did not like this one. Shocking, I know. They put out a letter and basically said that the fast turnaround time stuff is what is slowing them down. Because essentially, a 2-day order comes in and they got to stop what they're doing. They crank that out and they're getting hit with so many 2-day orders and 5-day orders. It's impacting their ability to get to the other stuff. So they said this was temporary. However, the markets and the community and the hobby seem to really be sliding away from BGS. We've talked about in a video not long ago about why would you submit cards to BGS. This was prior to this price hike, post their last price hike on other stuff. Their slabs don't sell for as much. They are super backed up, and they are the most expensive to submit to. So, unless you really like their slab and the subgrades for PC, do your own thing when it comes to PC stuff. But if you're looking to sell, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to use them. I'll link to the video where I talked about that. If you guys haven't seen it yet, check that one out. But yeah, BGS jacked their prices again, and the internet was mad. News at 11. I get what they're doing. They're trying to slow down submissions so they can get caught up by raising the price. It's a reverse tactic of what SGC just did, where they changed their structure around, where they made ultra fast time super expensive, and then they just lumped everything else into the same category. Once again, they try to tame the beast on the ultra fast stuff, the staggered stuff, and just make their processing simpler. There's BGS still left all the different versions. You could do a 5-day, a 2-day, or whatever, but none of that crap really matters because they're only hitting 2 and 5-day times. That 10-day sub that's on there is more like, I think, 60 days maybe. I don't remember, but it's really backed up. So yeah, BGS price hike. Don't know why you use them in the first place, but that's all we got on that one. Next up on the old list, let's look at some price charts from the old Market Movers tools. It has been an eventful week in the wonderful world of sports cards. And the first thing I kind of wanted to look at, I found this interesting. You can run reports that show you sales volume by player for the last X number of days that you'd want to go back. So I was curious. Everyone knows the basketball market is hot. You see tons of NBA trading card posts, all that stuff. It seems that the sports card market seems to revolve around the NBA. So I was curious what the sales volume looked like, and I didn't add anything up, but you'll be able to tell very quickly that it's absolutely astronomical. What the sales volumes are between the three major sports. So, and this isn't capturing everything because not every card is in the Market Movers report, but it captures the popular cards. Like, for example, on football, the number one selling card, and this is by player, not by individual card. The number one individual player was Kyler Murray. He had 39 cards in the database, and 230 of them sold. If I hit this, it'll show me all the individual cards and show me where most of those are coming from. So, not shocking, Prism is number one at 65, Optic is number 2 at 31, and then Prism PSA 10, so on and so forth. But just to get an idea, so you can see the top 2 players, Kyler and Patrick Mahomes, both just barely over 200 exactly, and then there's barely over 200. The other interesting thing here, I've mentioned this before. I don't talk a ton about football on here, but football is all quarterback driven, and you can see that based off this chart. Everyone in the top of the list is a quarterback. We have to go down to Barry Sanders to find someone that is a non-quarterback, and then we are right back into quarterbacks again. Chris Godwin is the first modern current-day NFL player that is not a quarterback that even ranks on here. Now, that could be because a lot of them just aren't in the database, but it's a quarterback-driven market. Um, so, yeah, the top two players combined for just over 400. So let's look at baseball. Now, baseball, football's not in season right now. It's ramping up. This is the time that people would normally start buying football. I'm a little nervous because of the pandemic stuff going on and just seeing what's happening in baseball about what this NFL season looks like. So I wouldn't want to bank a ton of money into NFL that may or may not even happen. Then baseball. So now we look at the top couple players. They're over 300. You got to get down to the fifth or sixth slot. And Fernando Tatis is number one. Acuna, Griffey Jr. is actually pretty high, but he also has a ton of cards. Trout, Jeter, Soto, Alonso. So you have a mix and match here of current players and legends as well. But we see the numbers about double what football was. Now, here's what gets funny. Let's look at basketball. Kaboom! Zion and LeBron alone have... Now, you also notice the card counts are a lot higher, but... and LeBron's been in the league for almost 20 years, so it makes sense that he'd have 186 cards. But look at these sales volumes. Even the lowest player on the list, R.J. Barrett, of this top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the top 10, Giannis is at 380. The 10th most popular NBA player in sales data is higher than everybody but one player on the others. And look at poor football. I can add up the entire top 10 and it comes in less than like the fifth most popular basketball player on sales charts. So, and like I said, this is not perfect, guys. Not every card is in the popular cards chart, but it's just interesting to see. And this is part of the reason why the basketball market is huge, because the demand is there for it because it's global. NBA is a global product. Major League Baseball and NFL are not. They are niche-based American products. Now, baseball has a little bit of a broader market because of Japan and Korea and stuff, and like the Dominican and Mexico and all that, but not to the power that the NBA does. The NBA has China. For good, bad, or indifferent, they have the China market, and the China market buys. I can't tell you how many of my eBay auctions ship to a third-party service to ship them overseas for the stuff that I sell on eBay. So I just thought this was interesting. So when people talk about low pop counts or high pop counts on cards, always remember NBA is a global game. So you're dealing with a global market versus NFL and MLB, which are more US-based markets. So let's quickly, because we were running long, hop in and talk about some individual products and players. We talked about Prism retail boxes. This was my favorite thing to talk about when they were sub $400. We did a video on them not too terribly long ago when they jumped. Well, guess what? They went up again. Prism retail boxes are going for between $700 and $800 now. I guess $700 and $750. But I know my local store was jumping them basically $100 every 3 days. And they finally leveled out at like $700, $750-ish. But these things went absolutely nuts. This is going back to the July 14th, 13th, so about 2 weeks. They were trending a little over 500-ish. You can see on the chart here. And now they are trending at around 700. So wax always wins. Another one I don't have charted here, but there was that recent re-release of Optic Mega Boxes at Walmart. They came out, the prices tanked on them. They dropped down to about $80 a piece. They are now back up to, last checked, $150. I've been sitting on 6 of them. I got 9 when they re-released. I opened 3, and I hid 6 from myself that I'll end up selling. But I was waiting for the prices to bounce back, so I'm just going to kind of see where they plateau out at before I make a move on those. So wax went up. Water is also wet. Wax is king. If you can resist not ripping it, hold on to it. Which reminds me, let's go on a little detour here. Chronicles, NBA Chronicles retail came out. Or, I'm sorry, not retail came out. Hobby came out. It was priced at $900 a box. Insane. That product is not worth it at a $900 a box to rip it. It is like 50 cards. In my opinion, the cards are kind of meh. They're kind of junky, I think. It's kind of like the scraps left over from all the other sets. They are loaded with rookies, but the prices usually don't hold up well on Chronicles. So for $900 a box, you could go ahead and keep it, which is what Hobby was going for, and still is. It might even be higher than that now. Those came out on Friday. Retail has not hit yet. Chronicles is a retail product. Best guess, probably not this coming week, but the week after. I would keep a close eye on social media. It could be out later this week. This is Sunday, but I have a feeling it'll most likely be the week after, the second full week in August. I could be wrong, but that's just my guess. If you could get it at retail prices, rip away if you want to rip. If you're looking to quote unquote invest and you could buy it at retail, buy it and hold it. If you can't buy it at retail, I think there's going to be an opportunity where you could buy it marked up if you're willing to sit on it and not open it and make a lot of money. Because what happens is the market floods because it comes out at every Walmart and Target around the country, and all the flippers and all that stuff gobble it up, throw it on eBay, and usually the trending rate when a product first releases like that is double. Double whatever MSRP is. So a $20 blaster box will go for between NBA. It'll probably be about 3x, so probably closer to $40 to $60. Excuse me, initially. So I think there's a tremendous buying opportunity if the prices are around that $50 to $60 range for like a $20 blaster. So basically anything 3x or under. If you have the capital and you're willing to sit on it for at least a couple of months, you could buy that stuff up on the secondary market when it first releases, sit on it, and probably double your money in 2 to 3 months, depending on how much of this they made. That's the thing we don't know, but if you're willing to wait out the supply, it's going to shoot up. Like it happened with Prism, it happened with Optic, it happened with Mosaic, and then it happened with Optic's re-release. The prices tanked on the Optic re-release and then immediately went back up the second supply ran out. I was tracking the prices very closely on it, and they were jumping. They would creep up, and then a small restock would happen. Those Walmart restocks on that Optic stuff ran about 3 weeks, and they got smaller and smaller, and the prices crept up each individual time, and now they've stopped, and they've skyrocketed. So if you can afford it to, throw however much money you want into it and sit on it and then wait for the restocks to dry out. It could take a month or two. We don't know, just judging by like what happened with Mosaic. And then go ahead and sell. So, yeah, keep an eye out for Chronicles. This is my personal plan with Chronicles. I'll tell you guys what I'm going to do. If I find some. Now, one of the thing is around me, the Targets put limits on almost every single store, a max of like 2 to 4 products. So I may find it, but I might not be able to purchase tons of it, which is fine. If I buy just enough, I'll rip a few boxes on the channel, show it off, and do whatever. If I only find that much, I'll probably just rip it. If I find like a ton at like a Walmart and I can buy out the whole display, my plan will be to not tie up the capital, is take enough of it to cover my costs. So if I spent $500 out of pockets on a display at Walmart to buy it out, I'll sell off enough, whatever it is, to cover the $500 in cost. So now I've paid nothing. Okay. Whatever I have left, I will take a small portion of that and open it, just to open some shit. And then whatever is left, I will put on a shelf somewhere and try to hide it from myself. Maybe I'll give it to my wife and tell her to put it somewhere where I can't find it. Um, but that is my plan with Chronicles, if I could find any. I think it's going to be crazy just based off the price of the hobby boxes, and it has Prism Update in it. But I would recommend going to watch some breaks of the product. I was not impressed, per se, with a lot of the cards. So, we are really ranting and raving in this one, so let's move on to the next one because we've gone extremely long now, and I still have a bunch of stuff I want to talk about. So let's motor through these quickly. A couple cards that have gone absolutely wild this week. Kobe Bryant, base PSA 10, tops 96. This card has gone nuts. It started the week out averaging just under $2,400 and has gone up $2,000 in the last 7 days. I do not know why. But all Kobe stuff has gone nuts. I don't know if it's because there was rumors of a new documentary coming out or just the market's inflated, so all the market's inflated. But this card went nuts this week. But I have not dug into this. I don't pay attention to, this isn't vintage basketball, but like non-current NBA stuff well enough to know what's causing this price increase. So, yeah, Kobe went psycho this week. Giannis in the ramp up to the playoffs. And I know that this one's a lot of out of range for a lot of people, but his PSA 10 Prism jumped from $4,000 at the beginning of the week to $6,000 at the end of the week. It went up $2,000, up 52%. Now, this is not for everybody, but there is a buying opportunity here on the PSA 9 and the BGS 9.5. Look at the last 7 days. The PSA 10 is up 52%. The PSA 9 is up 10%, and the BGS 9.5 is up 12%. And I am recording this Sunday morning. I looked. You can find these PSA 9s for around this price range. BGS 9.5, I did not. I saw some you could probably throw some offers on, and then there was a bunch of auctions running. So that may go up. I don't know, but there were still some PSA 9s floating out there, and I know a $2,000 card is not for everybody. I originally just wanted to talk about the PSA 10, and then I looked at this and saw that these two had not risen yet. And this is anticipation of the Bucks making a deep playoff run. If he makes the finals, his stuff is going to go crazy. Absolutely crazy. Next, another potential NBA Finals player, and we just recently talked about him in regards to his BGS 9.5 being mispriced. That is now caught up. I looked on here to see if it was still a buying opportunity. It kind of is, maybe, if you could find one cheap enough. But his PSA 10 has gone crazy. It started the week just over 2,200 and is rapidly approaching 3K. And once again, I think this card will go absolutely crazy if they make the NBA Finals. So, 80 stuff, I think the window may be over on him. He was drastically underpriced for a while. The Unicorn, Porzingis. He looked great in the Mavs' first game in the bubble, and prices moved based off of it. Started at 300, went up to 500, up almost $200 on the week for a 72% change. I think the Mavs, I would really love to see them win a round and make it to the second round, just because I want to see what Luka and Porzingis' prices will do, specifically Luka's. We'll see how their seeding games go to see if they can avoid any of the big boys at the top of the Western bracket. But yes, the Zinger is on the move. Once again, the NBA bubble market continues to overreact to everything. And then last but not least, speaking of which, 99% of the time when I show you charts on here, they are green, but we saved the most controversial one for last. Let's talk about Zion. Bubble has not gone well for him. First game, he looked okay, but he only played 15 minutes. They staggered his minutes because I don't know why. And they staggered him that he didn't get run in the last 5 minutes of an extremely close game. Doesn't make any sense. And then the second game, the Pelicans looked like crap. They got destroyed. They lost by 20 or 30. I don't know. It may have ended up being closer than that. But he also did not play very well. And his prices actually went down the last 7 days. I can't tell you the last time I saw red on someone's chart. I don't even know what it looks like. That's right, people. You can lose money in sports cards. The charts don't always just go blindly up. But I looked at his base and his PSA 10, and they are both down just a little bit. Not much, not anything crazy, but they are trending down. I will be curious to see if the trend continues, if they continue to play like crap. I think people were hoping that they were going to make a run at the 8 seed and that he was going to sneak into the playoffs. God knows the NBA gave him an absolutely cakewalk of a schedule, but they have not lived up to the hype so far. So I'll be curious to see what his cards do. And in fact, I'm going to throw a hot take out. I think Ja Morant's PSA 10 Prism base passes Zion's PSA 10 Prism base at some point in time during the playoffs. Because Zion's going to be sitting at home and Ja's going to be playing LeBron, most likely. And if the Pelicans keep playing the way that they're playing, I think he flattens to maybe slightly declines. And Ja's going to keep playing, and his prices are trending up. Nothing crazy, but they're going up about 5 or 10% a week. Right now, Ja's base PSA 10 Prism is at $600, so he's only $200 away, a little over $200 away. So if he keeps shooting up, and even if Zion just slowly creeps down, I think Ja's base Prism will pass Zion's, and then they're going to be a combination of the two. Zion flattening / slowly creeping down, and Ja's going just straight going up. So we'll see if I'm right. I may or may not be, but we'll see. So, all right, I have rambled on quite long enough. This is all that I have for you guys today. Once again, go ahead and leave me a like, comment down below with any questions that you guys have, and please sub if you haven't. That is the biggest thing right now, trying to get those subscribers piled up. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.